creating and delivering content directly to the people. No filters, no middlemen. Just the raw truth from the front lines. From live streaming press conferences to broadcasting panels and releasing powerful video content. We're bringing our message straight to the people who need to hear it the most. This platform is more than just a tool. It's how we document history in real time and how we tell our stories with our voices and how we reclaim the narrative. But we can't do this alone. We need your continued support to grow this platform and to keep the movement alive online and in the streets. This is NGAN Digital. This is People Power in Action. Share, subscribe, stay informed, stay engaged, because this revolution will be televised.
For 11 years, we have stood on the front lines, beginning here in Dallas, growing to become North Texas' largest human and civil rights organization. Along the way, we have traveled across the country to stand up for what is right, for what is just, and for what is necessary. Today, we launch a brand new website designed with you in mind. The site is more than information. It is a bridge to action, to awareness, to a movement for social change. Here you can read about our work, connect with our programs, and see the impact we are making nationwide. We invite you to stand up with us, explore, share, most importantly, become a recurring donor. Help fuel the fight for justice. As we evolve, we continue to add new features, make it easy for you to stay engaged, stay connected, and stay committed. Hello, y'all. I'm Minister of the Next Generation Action Network. Today, I am hosting this press conference.
In a world where the truth is often filtered through the lens of those in power.
But we are concerned
about as well as attorney Lesa Pamplin. I am standing in front of the Nienhuis family, in their situation that they have experienced in Midlothian, in the city of Midlothian. I stand before you today not only as the president of the Next Generation Action Network, North Texas' largest human and civil rights organization, but as a father, as a community leader, someone that's committed to facing and confronting injustices that impacts Black families. We face every day in this country. We are here because of a young man, Christopher Nienhuis, has been targeted, harassed, criminalized for doing what every human has the right to do, defend himself. His family has endured years of racism, intimidation, mistreatment, and not just by individuals, but the entire institution of Midlothian Police Department, Midlothian Independent School District, and now the Ellis County Sheriff Department. When a child is attacked and called a racial slur, beaten, and then punished instead of protected, that is not justice. That is racism. Hiding behind a badge and system stacked against us. And let's be clear, this isn't just about Midlothian issue. This is not just an issue in Ellis County. This is an American issue. From Texas to Minnesota, to Georgia, to Missouri, Black families have been forced to carry the burden of being mistreated by the very system that claims to serve them. At NGAN, we stand committed to unwavering. We will not allow a silence to shield corruption. We will not allow intimidation to erase the truth. We will stand, we will fight to demand justice, because justice for one Black family is justice for all of us. Today, we lift up Christopher and his family. But make no mistake, we are also lifting up every black mother, father, and child who has been told that their life don't matter. There is a pain that doesn't count and that their humanity is being dismissed. The Next Generation Action Network was built to confront these issues. We have been seeing for the last year an influx of yet racial tension towards black families. And let's say this particularly in this metroplex. NGAN has received calls every day about black families experiencing these type of situations in our suburban areas of this metroplex. This is not an isolated issue. We've been here before with Carmelo Anthony, several other issues that have arisen because of the color of your skin. Now, there might be some people that have a problem with me talking about that, but the reality is that the Next Generation Action Network is always going to give a platform to families in what they are experiencing. Today, you see a black family standing behind us that have experienced the worst. And we hope that when you leave this press conference, you understand the pain of what this family has had to endure. I'm going to pass it over to Patrice Jones at this time.
Good afternoon. I stand here today as the founder of By Any Means 104 in solidarity with the Nienhuis family and with the Next Generation Action Network, because what we are witnessing is not just unfair, it is inhumane. This family has faced harassment, racial violence, and institutional betrayal. And when Christopher defended himself against a brutal attack, the system chose to protect the aggressors and punish the victim. That is not justice, that is a vendetta, and it reflects the deep systemic racism that still poisons our community. The great Fannie Lou Hamer once said, "Nobody is free until everybody is free." And that truth still echoes today. Until black children can walk to school without being called racial slurs, until black families can live in peace without their neighbors telling them that they do not belong, until black boys are protected by the law instead of targeted by it, we are not free. Does the Stand Your Ground law apply to black people? This is why we stand together. This is why we raise our voices. This is why we will not stop until justice is real and justice is equal for everyone. Thank you guys for being here today. I'm going to pass it to Mr. Mark Nienhuis.
Good afternoon. My name is Mark Nienhuis, and I'm here today as the father of Christopher Nienhuis, who is currently being represented by attorney Lesa Pamplin. I stand before you today not only as a father seeking justice for his son, but also as a member of this community who believes in fairness, equality, and truth. On July 17, 2025, at Midlothian Community Park, my son was attacked and outnumbered by a group of kids. In that moment, he faced violence, racial slurs, and threats, including being told that a gun was present. Surrounded, spit on, and called hateful names, my son feared for his life. In defending himself, he injured one of his attackers, who happened to be the son of an Ellis County Sheriff's deputy. Since that day, our family has been subjected to harassment, intimidation, and death threats. This has not only come from individuals, but also through the unjust treatment we have experienced at the hands of the Midlothian Police Department and the Midlothian Independent School District. This is not the first time my family has been targeted, but it must be the last. As a combat veteran of both the Iraq and Afghanistan wars, and a two-time Purple Heart recipient, I didn't risk my life on behalf of my country only to be threatened with death and the death of my family because people don't agree with my son defending himself. It needs to be known as well that this is the same city where a black family's house was recently set on fire while they were sleeping, and all of a sudden no one saw or knows anything. The same city where in 2023 a family had racist graffiti spray painted on their house. The same city that made an issue because black kids at the local high school wanted to start a black student union. The same city where a member of the school board thought it appropriate to wear blackface. The same city where a video of a high school student saying the N-word over 20+ times was released on social media. These incidents just scratch the surface. There's a problem in Midlothian. No matter how bad some residents want to paint this as an all-inclusive suburban utopia that's tolerant and accepting of all people. Let me be very clear though, not all white people in Midlothian are racist. There are many in this community who have shown us love, support, and understanding, and we are grateful for them. But there's also a painful reality that cannot be ignored. Too often when a young black boy defends himself against mob violence, he is not seen as a victim, but he's portrayed as the aggressor. That is what is happening to my son. Despite being surrounded, taunted, and attacked, Christopher is being painted as the one at fault. This is not justice, this is not fairness, and this is not the community we should want Midlothian to be. I call on everyone who believes in truth and justice and in protecting our children to stand with us. My son deserves the same fairness, dignity, and presumption of innocence that any other child would receive. This is bigger than just my family. This is about whether we as a community are willing to confront biases, hold institutions accountable, and ensure that no black person, man, woman, or child is punished for simply trying to survive. Thank you.
Like we said before, Attorney Lesa Pamplin is here today as well. I do want to acknowledge the mother that's here as well in Christopher. And we felt like it was very important that his family stands behind him today so that people can look at the realness of in the impact of what is going on. We're not saying anything new. People are seeing it all day on social media, on the news. We're seeing this issue of yet racism and bigotry. And sometimes it's unpopular to talk about this because people like to call you and say that you're race baiting. At the end of the day, I don't know the definition of that word, yet I won't even dignify it. I'm only going to yet give you what I experience as a black man, right? And yet I want these boys and girls to yet be hardworking and have the same afforded opportunity as every child, right? And so one of the biggest things that NGAN is trying to do is making sure that we highlight these situations. I want to thank my colleague, Patrice Jones, for her leadership in this situation, as well as Attorney Lesa Pamplin. It's important when you have community leaders and people who are not afraid to confront the issues that are going on right now. We know this is not just isolated to the state of Texas. We know this is an issue. Many of us saw many of the things that have happened in the last week or two and everything. I'm not going to talk about that, but the reality is that what you see behind me, if you're black, this is you. This is your family. This is your son. This is your daughter. This could be you. Every day we get a call from a school district about discriminatorial policies and biases about black families. And as soon as a situation happened where a black kid returns or says something back, this black kid is suspended. This black kid is expelled. But then all of a sudden, don't nobody know where this white kid is. Don't nobody know anything about what happened to the other kids or the aggressor or anything. They're always shielded and protected. And like I said, if anybody have a problem with me saying it, then fix it, damn it. You know, we don't want to host these press conferences and talk about this, right? We host these press conferences and we do this work because we have to do it, right? And so what we're going to continue to do is make sure that we highlight many of these situations in this family. I want to send a call to action. We want Midlothian Police Department to do the right thing. We want Midlothian ISD to do the right thing. We want Ellis County to do the right thing. NGAN, as well as many others, will continue to echo these words that we want the change that's necessary, needed. What Mr. Nienhuis, what his family has had to experience since they moved to Midlothian, here is a family, a man that served his country, that literally is trying to raise his kids in a proper home, in a proper community, and yet his kids, you know, he shared this with me. when he moved to Texas just this past weekend, that he hadn't even had a conversation with his kids about racism before, till he got here to Texas. He never even had a conversation, never even came up in his home state. But as soon as his family came here to the state of Texas, in the city of Midlothian, his kids was met with something that they didn't even know exist. And see, I always tell people all the time that sit here and say, we're race baiting and we're this. We have to tell our kids how to get stopped by the police. We have to tell our kids how to walk, how to talk, how to do this, hey man, there are gonna be people that look at you that think you're different, and they're gonna judge you based on what you, how you look, not how you talk, not how you're educated, how you apply yourself, but based on how you look. And nerve to say we're race baiting. All of these things. You can let your kid out and nobody's going to discriminate. Nobody's going to think that he doesn't belong in this particular neighborhood. We see it all the time, and it is very problematic. I'll open it up for questions.
Can you give us some more context, Mr. Nienhuis, about what led up to this situation, and why was Midlothian ISD involved if it happened outside of school?
Yeah, come on.
So basically what led up to the situation was just a by chance meetup. This group of kids doesn't even live in Midlothian. They just happened to be at the community park. My son happened to be there. I know that they had prior incident with one of his friends that he was with, and in all reality, he just got caught up in something that wasn't even intended for him. And in terms of the school district, that just references some of the mistreatment we had. I'm not going to go into too much detail about that, but just unfair treatment within the school district, targeting of my kids, and punishments that weren't valid.
So he was punished after the situation?
He was expelled from school, yes, given the charges that he was charged with. So,
What was he charged with?
2 counts aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
The deadly weapon being?
Deadly weapon being a knife.
How old is your son, Christopher, and what school?
He just turned 18. He goes to Midlothian High School.
Have you heard from any of the school leaders or anybody from the police department just in regards to what has happened to the other people who were involved in this?
Absolutely nothing. As far as I know, they all got to go home at the end of the day, and there was no punishment or anything for them.
In this day of social media, was it captured on video? Is there anything to help corroborate what you all are saying?
Yes, ma'am, there is. Yes.
How does this make you feel, having to go through this, having to stand here in this press conference, having your family to be behind doing something of this nature?
Like Minister Dominique said, I didn't come out here for this. I moved from St. Louis to give my kids something different environment. And to have to be in this situation, like I said, I didn't come here for this. This isn't what I want to be doing, but unfortunately, it's a reality living where we live.
How long have you been in Midlothian now?
About 5 years now.
So 5 years.
Mhm.
And is everyone, tell us a little about the family behind you.
So we have my wife right here, my son Christopher, my youngest daughter Nyla, Dylan right here, Jaden, Zaylee's back here, our good friend Miss Janetta who lives down the street, and my oldest son Markel.
So who exactly called police and?
So as far as police being called, it was just people, bystanders in the park that were observing the incident made the call to the police. But ultimately, the young man was taken to the hospital as well.
And is this park near your home?
Correct, yes ma'am. Right around the corner, probably about 5 minutes away.
And this is for Christopher, but I know you're going to answer. Were they playing basketball? Were they hanging out? Like, what were they doing that day?
So my son had just come up there. So he has pet snakes, a couple different pythons, some he's into. So he went up to the park that day with some of his snakes, and his friends just kind of show him off. All the girls are interested in him, so they were just taking pictures with the girls. That's what his intention was, to come up to the park, just to have a good time and be with his friends.
And so that's when the other kids came by and there was some type of exchange that happened?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
What do you ultimately, I know you've said this, but again, to reiterate, what do you ultimately hope comes from all
Ultimately, I hope not only to shed light to what's going on in Midlothian, but also, garner support from the community as well, for what my son's facing. He's going to be tried in Ellis County. He's already been guilty in the court of public opinion. When it initially happens, when I go through and I see comments like, if they hadn't built the basketball courts, they wouldn't have come. I hope my son gets bent over a jailhouse bunk. When I see things like that, it lets me know what the culture is in Midlothian.
And you had mentioned about possibly an official, or the official's son being involved in this.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a conflict, obviously, a conflict of issue, and what do you want to see happen in regards to this?
Most definitely, I do think that is a conflict of issue. Ultimately, I just want to see what's right come of this. Like I said, my son defended himself. It sounds clearly like staying your ground isn't applicable to black people here, but that's exactly what he did.
To those who would say, why didn't he just walk away? What would you say to them?
He tried. He tried. He attempted to leave. And once that video comes out, if made public, everybody will be able to see that he did attempt to leave.
So real quick, clear from NGAN standpoint, we want these charges dropped. We want to ensure that we highlight this press conference. We're really behind on doing this press conference, right? Because, like I always tell people all the time, it's very hard to operate a human and civil rights organization in this current time because it's so much going on. We are flooded with so much that is going on. And I could just say, from NGAN standpoint, like I want people to know we should have did this press conference almost a month ago. But we couldn't have it not be told and talked about. We hope to release the video so people can see it. It was on social media. It did go viral if people didn't remember it. But we wanted to, this is not just this family. The media never even asked or a follow-up question of Midlothian police about the family who house attempted to, that someone literally tried to burn their house down. And yet, every time there is a situation where there is an investigation of something that has to be racially motivated, it always get thrown back on black families. Oh, that's a domestic issue. That may have been someone that you know. Nobody that these people know is doing this to them. And you can't even depend on the agencies that are supposed to investigate because they're just trying to mute it and trying to whitewash it and wash it down and calm it down and pipe it down or whatever they're trying to do. But what you do is you leave black families dealing with this, and they're never going to get the healing for the situation. They're going to have to think about their kids when they're late at night and they don't want to go to sleep, or they don't want to go walk to the park because they don't want to be judged, or all these type of stuff. These kids that's behind me should be able to walk through Midlothian without being judged, without being asked, do you live here and stand here and all that, just because of the color of their skin. And so, you got a family that's here that's saying, I just want to live. That's all. I just want to live. I just want to live the life that everybody else live. That's it. I just want to go to work, pay my bills, do whatever I need to do, and raise my kids. That's all, right? And so that's pretty much it. Any other questions?
So one more question for Mr. Nienhuis. What does this mean in regards to your son? You say he turned 18. What are his plans? College, whatever else, and everything?
I can answer it. He was planning on going to the military. He was planning on preparing himself for life, but right now, Attorney Pamplin is having to fight for his life right now. Of course, he has a bright future, and today we hope to continue this conversation so that we can continue to fight for Christopher Nienhuis' future. And I know I just messed up their name. They have a very unique name, but at the end of the day, we're going to continue to fight for Christopher. Any other questions? No? All right, thank you.